What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I am back today to give you a review of the Nike Air Pegasus 2K5 in this coconut milk and bicoastal colorway. Today's video is brought to you by StockX. StockX is one of the world's leading marketplace platforms for streetwear, sneakers, and collectibles. They have some of the best selection of all the platforms, meaning when I strike out on a shoe, that's usually the place I head to when I want to pick up a pair that I missed out on. And as a Canadian buyer, there's that struggle of when you buy something from overseas, more often than not, you're going to be slapped on with a huge bill for duties and taxes at the door. But with StockX and their all-in pricing, the final price you see right before you confirm your order, that's the final price you're paying, not a cent more. So you're not gonna have UPS or FedEx knocking at your door. All the applicable taxes and duties are part of that final price. And StockX isn't only good for shoes that are going for above retail, they're actually a great source to buy shoes for under retail as well. So that's exactly what happened with this pair. I went to StockX and managed to grab these for under what I would have paid if I bought these directly from Nike. So I have a link down below which leads you to the listing on StockX for this shoe, and obviously it's size dependent, but hopefully you're able to grab these for under retail just like me. So this is a brand new colorway of the Nike Air Pegasus 2K5, which originally was a performance running shoe back in the mid-2000s. Fast forward nowadays though, it's released as a Nike sportswear casual shoe, which is perfectly in line with that trend of 2000s and 2010s running shoes turned lifestyle models. So the official colorway for this shoe is coconut milk, bicoastal, and soft yellow, and these retailed for a price of $150 US or $210 here in Canada. And I'm not sure if these are going to have a wider release, but at least here in Canada, I think these were only available on Nike.ca, and none of the boutiques here got this colorway. So jumping right into the details of this shoe, the base layer of the sneaker is constructed out of a dual layered mesh. So the layer underneath is done in green, but we have this off-white colored mesh on top. And then in the middle of the toe box, we have this embroidered mini swoosh, which is done in a mix of green and yellow. Overlaid on top of the toe box, we have these synthetic nubuck overlays in green. And then wrapping on the front toe cap, we have a synthetic leather, which is done in this cream color, and we have these cutouts on both sides, revealing a brown layer with white colored detailing. Moving downwards on the mid panel, we have this large synthetic leather panel, which features these arrow-shaped cutouts, which has this translucent mesh within it. And then stitched on top of this, we have this puffy green swoosh with a pale yellow colored outline. Moving downwards, we have more of that green colored nubuck along with that off-white colored mesh. We have a triangular cutaway on the sides of the heel with this accent of brown. And then on the heel of the sneaker, we have Air Pegasus branding along with another Nike mini swoosh on the top of the heel. For the laces, this pair only comes with one lace option, and they're your normal flat style lace done in this cream color. Beneath this, we have a padded tongue, which is covered primarily in that same mesh that covers the upper of the shoe. However, the top of the tongue is covered in more of a fine green colored mesh, and we have a synthetic layer on top with Air Pegasus 2K5 branding in green. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is lined in a cream colored mesh. And then for the insoles, these come with a foamed line insole, and it's covered in a green mesh on top with a yellow colored swoosh pressed onto the heel. So the upper of the Pegasus 2K5 sits atop this full-length Phylon foam midsole, which is painted primarily in this sail color. Encased within this midsole, we have a full-length Nike Air unit, which helps with impact protection. And then for the outsole, this is done in this waffle style pattern, and it's done in this green colored finish. So you can see we have these yellow colored nubs on the forefoot, and on the heel we have a semi-visible window revealing the Nike Air unit within. And then on the medial side in the middle, we have this yellow colored TPU shank plate, which helps with torsional rigidity and mid-foot support. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about how these fit, so generally speaking, they do run true to size, so I feel like if you have a narrow, normal, or even a slightly wide foot, go with your actual measured foot size and you should be perfectly fine. In my case, I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, meaning when I go to a shoe store, step on a branding device, I'm actually a 10 in between a D and an E width. So getting these in a size 10, they fit me great. There's no pressure points on the toe box, the length is fine, so that's what I'd recommend. Moving on to the comfort, so overall these are a pretty comfortable sneaker. To me, it's not as comfortable as a Nike Zoom Vomero 5, but it's no slouch either. This full-length Phylon foam has a decent amount of cushion to it, especially underneath the heel. You feel a bit more of that compression, but the forefoot in comparison feels a little bit more firm. But again, for an everyday use sneaker, I think these will be perfectly fine. They're quite comfortable as far as Nike sportswear shoes go, so if you're in the market for an everyday sort of sneaker, and especially if you can grab these for under retail, then I would not hesitate. Last but not least, in terms of the quality and craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality unfortunately was pretty poor. Everything on the sneaker is just synthetic materials. There's no genuine suedes or nubucks or leathers, which I guess kind of makes sense considering these were originally intended to be a performance running shoe, but I guess because this is more of a lifestyle take nowadays, it would have been nice to see a bit more elevated materials on this shoe. The build of the sneaker though, just like my previous review where I reviewed the black and pink colorway, that pair also had the same issue with this toe box having this rippling. So if you can see here, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but basically the green nubuck, which was stitched on top of the mesh, it wasn't flat, so it leaves a bit of a rippled look to it, which is even more apparent when you're not wearing them. When my feet are inside the shoe, it's not as noticeable, but it's one of those things where once you see it, it just kind of annoys you. Other than that though, I thought this pair was decently built. The stitch job was okay. There were some glue stains along the shoe, but it wasn't anything major. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, the Pegasus 2K5 is a great option if you're looking for one of those 2000s era running shoes turned lifestyle models that's not going to be the same sort of sneakers that everyone's wearing like the P6000 or the Vomero 5. These are quite comfortable like I said, and if you're able to grab these for under retail, then I would buy them. I probably wouldn't pay full retail price for these, but I do think the colorway is nice, probably the nicest colorway that Nike has dropped for this model so far. It has a very earthy, natural sort of look to it with the green, the creams, the yellow, and the brown. It's a color palette that's totally in style right now. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this Bicoastal and Coconut Milk Pegasus 2K5? For anyone watching, did you also grab a pair of these? Are you potentially waiting for these to go under retail, which again, link is down below to StockX if you want to check it out, or are you just not feeling the silhouette or the colorway? As usual though, if you guys enjoyed this review, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, follow me on X at sean.go spelled out, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thank you everyone for watching, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.